Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about Gravity Falls, BigFest Russia. And if you didn't know, Alex Hirsch went to this convention in Russia called BigFest, and this is part 2. You might want to watch part 1 if you haven't already, because that goes into a bunch of details. And this video is going to go into more details about what happened during the panel that Alex Hirsch was in. So I'm going to be talking about things that he said at the panel, and I'll be going over a few Q&A questions. So one thing Alex Hirsch said was that there is a scene in sock opera that didn't actually get in the episode because of time issues, and Bill claimed he was behind many great minds of history, and some of these were helping Isaac Newton discover gravity and helping Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing. So this is obviously something that would have been a really good scene in the show, but there are so many different scenes in Gravity Falls that are cut just because of time constraints, and it sucks because there would be a lot of potentially really funny scenes, and I would want to see stuff like this. But the scenes that replace it are probably better than them because they got to cut out a few below average scenes. So another piece of information that Alex Hirsch said is that Bill can never go back to the place he came from. Alex hinted that there may be more about his origins in the journal coming this summer, but not much, since Bill is the kind of character that is like the mysterious type and you don't really want to know a bunch about him. But in the show, we don't know his origin at all. I made a theory a really long time ago that he was from space, and that was neither confirmed nor denied in the show. There are a bunch of theories I made that can't be confirmed nor denied because of Gravity Falls being really short. It only had 2 seasons. But if we get more information about Bill's origin in the journal, then that would mean that we might get evidence and we might know exactly where he comes from, because I can make theories on that, and maybe he does come from space like the theory that I made a few years ago on this channel. Another thing Alex Hirsch said is that Dipper's name is not Michael, Alex, Mabel, or Bill, and some people actually thought these names were actually Dipper's, and these are just random names. Some of them start with M. I don't know why people would think that Mabel was Dipper's name. I don't know what people were thinking when they did that, but Alex Hirsch was just debunking a few name theories. And if you didn't know, Dipper's real name will be in Journal 3, so that's going to be really significant to read, and I'm going to be getting that book the first day it comes out. Another thing Alex Hirsch said is that in Weirdmageddon 3, Take Back the Falls, there was supposed to be a subplot where clones number 3 and 4 would try to kidnap Dipper and go back home with Mabel instead of him, but this was deemed too confusing, and again, it was cut because of time. And I know that a finale like that, which is 44 minutes, why would you need to cut stuff for time when it's so long? But they needed to include so much. It was a series finale, and they had to include them going home. They had to include 20 minutes of that, and they had to include the big battle between Bill and the main characters, and fitting in a subplot like this, it would have been interesting, it would have been awesome, but they just couldn't find time to do it. And I really wish they would actually publish these scenes sometime, or maybe at least put up the pictures that would show them. And if they don't have pictures, they could just show the script, but I would really like to see those scenes. And over the course of the show, there have been so many cut scenes that I would think that they could use in a future thing. And since there are so many different cut scenes from the show, maybe Alex Hirsch could use it in a comic book or a special or something. And speaking of a comic book, I've talked about Gravity Falls having a comic for a very long time. I've said this is the most likely scenario for the continuation of Gravity Falls, and at BigFest, Alex said he was talking with Disney about making Gravity Falls comics, but nothing is concrete yet. So don't get your hopes completely up, but do know that Alex Hirsch is trying to get comics, and he is open to the possibility, and this is really good because now we know that the story of Gravity Falls can continue past the Journal 3 coming this summer, past the Dipper and Mabel and the Curse of the Time Pirate's Treasure book coming this summer as well. And we'll get comic books possibly, if Disney allows it, and that would be a really good way to see all these loose ends in Gravity Falls continue, because there are so many different possibilities, and I really hope Alex Hirsch does make these comics, as they would be awesome to read. So now I'll talk a little about the Q&A that Alex Hirsch held at BigFest. So there are a lot of questions personally about Alex that aren't really significant to the show, but there are a few questions that people ask about Gravity Falls, And one kid asked about the identity of the kid in Great Grandma Pine's arms in the scene where Stan gets thrown out, and a lot of people thought this was Shermie. I thought this was Shermie, and his answer, you would expect him to like give a hint or something or tell us who it is, but he just says it's currently a secret. Now, this means that he still has secrets in the show that he doesn't want to tell people. This means that the journal is going to give us a bunch of different answers to questions we don't actually have the answers to. But it also means that he could have plans for future projects. Like if he does a comic, then he could use this secret and place that answer in the comics. And the fact that he's just keeping secrets now, even when the show's over, like that proves that he's still open to the continuation of Gravity Falls in some way. One fan asked, will there be a crossover with Rick and Morty? Now, if you didn't know, there have been a bunch of Gravity Falls Easter eggs in Rick and Morty. There have been a few instances where we see Bill Cipher in the Rick and Morty, and they are cleverly hidden. But does this mean there's going to be a crossover? Alex Hirsch said that he and Justin Roiland always wanted to make a show together, but they thought it would never happen because they're too weird. But as luck would have it, they got to work on their own shows, and they decided to use this opportunity to reference each other's shows, and that's why in Rick and Morty there's Gravity Falls references, and in Gravity Falls there's one Rick and Morty reference. Now, Disney was strict with references to other shows, so Alex didn't tell many people about this. And does this mean that there will be a crossover with Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls? It's possible, but I would say it's not likely. Another question someone asked is, will there ever be another Gravity Falls game? And Alex Hirsch said it all depends on Disney. So what we can take from this answer is that Alex Hirsch is open to many things, and basically what it comes down to is Disney. Disney decides on what type of merchandise, what type of games, what type of books are going to come out involving Gravity Falls, and basically Alex Hirsch is open to any of this, so that's really good news for us. And because Gravity Falls was really popular, I would say Disney would allow it. Alright, well, that's my BigFest analysis part 2. There are a lot of things he said during this panel and during the Q&A, but I decided to include the most important ones and the ones I really wanted to talk about. And as a bonus, to end off this video, watch Alex Hirsch singing "We'll Meet Again."